cold and windy, I'll say that, but we really had a good day. Very, very spirited. We first day in full pads, we got into our what we call our 3-on-3 drill, which is a real competitive drill. 3 linemen, O linemen versus 3D linemen in a back. A chute that's about 6 yards wide and 10 yards deep, and 3 cracks at it to get 10 yards. And if the offense gets 10 yards, they win. If the defense stops them, they win. And you got your middle drill with your middle group is your tight ends and fullbacks versus linebackers. And then on the outside, you got your wide receivers versus DBs, but it's all 3 versus 3 and a runner. And very spirited. That usually cranks off the hitting for the first time you tackle in the spring. It usually gets everybody's blood pumping, and it did. It kind of kept their blood pumping throughout the day, but I was really pleased with the energy, and it probably had a little something to do with it being a little cold and windy. Everybody just wanted to keep moving, but I don't know. I think we're making a lot of progress. We're making a lot of progress. Guys are running to the ball on defense, and we're getting some really good, what we call thuds. Just a lot of hats to the football right now. And, offensively, I think we're doing a good job there too. I just see a bunch of guys working really hard. A bunch of coaches coaching really hard, and it's been a pleasure to watch so far.
Did this weather negatively impact you? That's pretty hefty wind blowing out there.
Well, it was hard to complete some balls, but you know what? Before it was over, we completed a few. We were just about ready to give him a positive grade just for throwing it to the right guy, because the ball's getting blown all over the place. And I was thinking about attempting an 80-yard field goal today with the wind blowing like it did. The problem was it would have had to been like a diagonal kick. It would have been from one field to the other, because that's the way the wind was blowing. But it was nippy out there.
Can it give you an indication about arm strength with quarterbacks?
A little bit, but even if you're throwing the ball, there was balls that were thrown on a dead line that just, the wind would go boom, it was like, the ball would be coming to me like, whang, and then go over there. It was amazing how much the wind was affecting the ball. I don't know if anybody could have ripped it through that wind today. We, normally we have our filming guys up in a tower and all that kind of thing, and up in a lift, but we just shot it off the track tower and off the patio deck, because there's no way we're going to put them up on those lifts.
Did you have to tell Sonny Michelle it's not like this all the time?
Was he even out there?
Yes, I believe that was him bundled up.
Was he? I didn't recognize him. So.
Don't you have permanent structures now for the cameras?
We're putting them up.
So they're not operational?
We're not allowed to use them until the whole project's done.
Gotcha.
And we're hoping sometime in May for the whole project to be done. From what I understand, if everything stays on track, they may start laying the field turf Monday. But I think the whole thing's going to be done somewhere around early to mid-May if there's no big setbacks. But they say those towers can handle, I don't even know, what, 40, 50 mile an hour winds or something. Not that we would even practice in that, but those things will be, we won't have to worry about the wind with those things.
I don't want to hound you about this, but the poor guys that got in trouble, obviously they're still out there practicing. You're investing a lot of time and everything. That appears to me to be an indication that your dismissal is not an option here.
I wouldn't put anything out of the realm of possibilities right now. Just right now, we're just allowing them to continue to work, and we'll, when the discipline is laid out, there's some happening right now, just some early morning running and things of that nature, but there's more to come, and just thinking it through real good.
Is there any timetable for Justin and Shaq, 2 guys that are also ran into some problems earlier? Scott Wesley and Wiggins.
Shaq, you just had
Shaq
a license issue?
No, there's not going to be anything on Shaq's deal. Justin. What do you know about Justin?
He had the
Before
marijuana arrest
last season.
Last,
He is,
of the
Let's-
Florida week.
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll stay with our policies on
You mentioned the defensive competition, but what about the offensive line, especially those spots that are really battling for those guys that left?
that. Whew. Coach Friend was not a happy man today. Maybe not the whole time, but he had a couple moments there where he was not really happy. We just evaluate film every day, and we try to put the guys out there based on what they did the day before, but you know, this Saturday we'll end up scrimmaging. We'll have a little bit, usually after the first scrimmage, we have a little better feel of depth chart moves. But, you know, there's some depth chart movement going on at different spots, but we know a lot more after that first scrimmage.
Coach, I want to ask you about Colton Houston. It's the first spring in some time he's been able to solely focus on just football.
Right.
Are you seeing anything condition-wise that benefits him now?
I think he's stronger than he's been in a while. I think he's more focused, obviously. He's got, you know, quite a matchup most of the time dealing with Leonard Floyd. He'll make him better. But I think he's still not, he's probably still in the 285 range. And I don't know what his best playing weight's gonna be, but my guess is it'll be at least 290, 295 probably. So he's probably not as big as he's gonna be. But he had, I don't know if it was the flu bug or something, he was sick last week. And he's down a little bit because of that. I think he was in the mid-280s before he got sick. But I think he'll be 290, 295 probably when the season goes. But he looks, I think he's practicing well. I think he looks stronger. Be fun to see what he does with the whole offseason too.
I've always thought of right tackles as the biggest chunk guy you could get out there, you know, traditionally.
Yeah.
What does he bring to that position?
Well,
Obviously,
really, both tackles have got to be athletic enough to pass protect. If you can't protect off the edge, you're in trouble. Even though it's, you know, we always talk about the quarterback's blind side, but I mean on the front side, you want to protect there too. So if the guy can't do that, you're in trouble. We used to be, when I first came to Georgia, we were a tight side and a split side. Then our tight tackle, he was kind of the big run guy. And then your split side tackle was the more athletic guy. He was blocking a lot of the backside of a lot of your running game, and he was always on the open edge. The tight tackle always had a tight end next to him to help him and all. But now that we're right and left, sometimes the tight end's here, sometimes the tight end's there. The tackles stay in their own spot, so they both have to be pretty good. But you know, usually most people feel like their best pass protecting guy is on the left. If you got a right-handed quarterback, but they both got to be pretty